Welcome to Movie Oubliette, the film review podcast for movies that most people have mercifully forgotten.
I'm Dan.
And I'm Conrad, and in each episode, we drag a forsaken film out of the oubliette,
Discuss it and judge it to decide whether it should be set free
or whether it should be thrown back and consigned to oblivion forever. We review the films others tend to forget. Come with us and open up the movie oubliette. Patron's Choice. It's out! Welcome to episode 192 of Movie Oubliette, the equator-spanning podcast for forgotten fantastical films with me, Conrad, going to improv in Cambridge, UK.
Oh, and me, Dan, continuing my dental saga of trauma in Melbourne, Australia.
Oh, no. We focus on forgotten fantasy, sci-fi, and horror films because we love cucumber pudding, child geniuses with MacGuffins, and creatures with a whole other head on their tongues.
Oh, is that a euphemism?
But quite possibly. Yeah, even more teeth to worry about. So you're still having dental traumas, Dan?
Yes, so I've had a root canal now.
Oh, good grief.
Yeah, it's not fun. So that's happening. But I had no idea a root canal is an ongoing sort of procedure. So there's a few things you have to do first. I mean, I don't want to make everyone squeamish, but first of all, they rip out your nerve. So there's no nerve there, and then they clean it out, and then they fill it, and then you have to put a crown on it, which is this exorbitantly expensive thing that you have to pay for. So that's happening. But, all for the health of my teeth, I guess.
Yeah. So I guess the lesson here, kids, is don't leave it 10 years to go to the dentist.
Yeah, don't do that. And don't eat too much chocolate, I guess. And brush your teeth and floss. I'm flossing every day.
Yeah.
Flossing is my new identity. I'm just flossing all the time.
Oh my gosh. So have you got more to come, or are you nearly cresting the hill now?
No, it's going to be my year at the dentist, I think. It's going to, it's just constant. But it's
mortgaging
fine.
The house.
It's fine. It's, that's what you do when you get old.
Yeah.
Go to the dentist. But meanwhile, improv, how's that going?
Yes. Well, I'm going tomorrow to see a show that I've been dying to see. It's only ever been in London at night time, and I don't really like travelling into London at, coming out nights. So they're coming to Cambridge. It's a comedy troupe, and they do a show called Ostentatious, as in Jane Austen. And what they do is they come out on stage and they ask you to throw some random things at them, and then they perform a Jane Austen-inspired romantic comedy incorporating all the things that you've shouted.
I love that. I've been to something similar. Yeah. I don't think it was a direct novel reference, but it was a period drama, but it was improv. It's hilarious. It is truly hilarious to see.
Yeah, I can't wait because I haven't ever seen improv live on stage, and it's got rave reviews. No.
Improv can be hit and miss.
Yeah.
Because it depends on what they come up with or what prompts they get from the audience. It can be a bit challenging for them, and some of the jokes don't quite land, or they kind of fumble it a little bit. So it can be hit and miss, but it seems like the troupe you're going to see are very experienced, so I'm sure it'll be fantastic.
Yeah, I think if they've been successful in London and then they're touring the country, presumably they've got it down. So
That's great.
We shall see.
Improv is also great because it changes every time. So you will never see the same performance repeated. It's going to be different every single time. And that is what's refreshing about improv. It's not just the same act over and over again.
Yeah, you're getting something unique. So I'm looking forward to it.
Cool. All right, mailbag time. Conrad, what have our listeners been saying?
Well, James Salzberg, long-time listener, got in touch about Biggles. And he said, I watched this as a teen in 86, 87, and I remember liking it, but I also love Time Rider, so anything with time travel gets a pass from me.
Yes, yes.
Yes, James nominated Time Rider for us, and yeah.
It was it's an odd movie when the character doesn't even know he's traveled in time.
Yeah, we were a bit nonplussed by that one, but it was interesting.
Yeah.
Definitely interesting. Wild Star Studios got in touch to say, my only exposure to Biggles had been through Monty Python sketches.
Oh, right.
Cardinal Biggles of the Spanish Inquisition didn't really convey much about the character of Biggles beyond the flight helmet and the moustache. The various fake titles of books sprinkled throughout their sketches, like Biggles Combs His Hair and Biggles Dictates a Letter, similarly fail to clarify much. Michael Palin reading from Biggles Goes to See Bruce Springsteen probably came the closest, as it depicts Biggles, Algie and Ginger all flying to see the concert. As bad as Biggles' adventures in time may have been, at least now I know who the character's really supposed to be.
Right. Okay.
It's a small plus, so...
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the movie does portray Biggles quite well.
Yeah, it does, actually.
It's just the other time travel 80s stuff. It's unnecessary.
Yeah. And, of course, we heard from Serge of Gold Crash Pictures.
Oh, hello, Serge.
Hello, Serge. And he said about Don't Torture a Duckling, I never considered myself a big Giallo fan, but Don't Torture a Duckling has me thinking maybe I just haven't watched the right ones. Really dug this. Stylistically bold, thematically rich, and I love me a murder mystery that refuses to give you anyone to root for.
Right. Yes, yes.
It's very true. Well, it's lovely to hear from everyone. Keep getting in touch.
Yes, love those messages. Conrad, what's the movie for today?
Well, let me just amble over to the Oubliette to find out. Oh, I seem to be in a child's bedroom.
I think there's something in the closet that has the film. Maybe just lure it out.
Oh, yeah. There's a xylophone on the floor. I might just play a few notes on it over and over again for no apparent reason. Here he comes. Here he comes. Yep, it's irritating, isn't it? Give me the film. Thanks very much. Okay, I'm coming back.
Okay.
Oh, too far to the left.
Ah, here we are.
Where have your glasses gone, Conrad?
Yeah, let me put those back on so you can concentrate.
Oh, you're so dashing.
Dear.
What's the film, Conrad?
Well, I have with me the 1986 horror comedy Monster in the Closet.
Ooh.
Co-written and directed by Bob Darlin and starring Donald Grant, Denise DuBarry, Claude Akins, Howard Duff, Henry Gibson, Donald Moffat, Paul Dooley, John Carradine, Frank Ashmore, and weirdly, Paul Walker and Fergie.
Yes. So this was a patron's choice pick as well, right?
It was, yes. So Serge nominated this and it came off the wheel. So congratulations, Serge.
So what happens in this movie?
Well, in this trauma entertainment creature feature, Richard Clarke, an obituary writer who wants a chance for a big scoop, is sent to investigate a string of mysterious and grisly murders in the usually idyllic San Francisco suburb of Chestnut Hills. All the deaths involve unfortunate souls last seen making a beeline for their wardrobes.
Yes.
In the town, Clark meets Professor Diane Bennett, a science teacher who actually studies things, her young son, who she calls Professor and might be the smartest person in the room, and a parade of veteran character actors representing scientific, religious and military authority figures, all attempting to solve the closet carnage. Will Richard's ragtag crew stop the monster before it destroys the world? Will a pint-sized Paul Walker make the gadget that outperforms the US military? And will this parody test your patience or prove irresistible with its glasses off? Find out after the break.
Yes. And we'll be joined by an expert on this film as well.
We will. Our guest today is a writer, film researcher, and self-confessed fantasy cinema obsessive who co-founded the first Spanish-language website dedicated to Godzilla and has literally written the book on Monster in the Closet. It is Octavio López Sanjuán. Thank you so much for being with us today. Welcome.
Thank you so much. The pleasure is mine. Thank you.
So, Monster in the Closet, when it was suggested to us as a film to cover, I admit I had never even heard of it. Dan, had you?
No, this is a first for me, and it's a trauma film as well. This is only the third ever trauma film I've ever seen.
Yes, I don't have any experience of trauma. Dan, you've said you've seen a few of them. Yeah. How would you characterize them?
So I've only seen 2 trauma movies. Toxic Avenger, of course.
Right.
I think everyone has to see the Toxic Avenger.
Right.
And I've seen another like sorority slasher film. I honestly can't remember what it was called. But I went through a string of just watching all of these like university/high school slashers. And they were all terrible. Apart from the trauma one was surprisingly okay. Mm-hmm. But my experience with trauma is they are very rough around the edges.
Right.
It's very like, wow, they could have done another take kind of thing. But it's okay. I also find trauma, they kind of create their own kind of trauma-verse. Like there's a lot of the movies seem to be interconnected and like recurring characters in movies. Okay. And they do focus on comedy more than just straight serious. Like I compare it to like Roger Corman or was it Charles Band's film production studios. They seem to be ripping off movies, whereas Trauma does seem to be a little bit more original in their screenwriting and movies. Like their films aren't directly trying to rip off other movies. They're not obvious Jaws rip-offs or obvious Halloween ripoffs, which Roger Corman does like quite sort of
shamelessly.
Yeah, he doesn't try to hide it. It's obvious he's ripping off these like big blockbuster movies, whereas Trauma seems to do its own thing. But they're all B grade, they're all bad, but they kind of know they're bad. That's the thing. They're very self-aware.
Are they exploitative? Is it very gory, very exploitative of women's bodies, that kind of thing?
Yes. I mean, I feel like I'm not experienced enough with trauma, but they are generally very violent, but it's silly violence. It's over the top violence. Right. There's one scene in Toxic Avenger where someone's head gets run over by a car, but it's a watermelon. It looks amazing, but it's like they do these scenes on a budget, on a shoestring budget, and pull it off. But this isn't as violent as trauma movies are, and the humor is a little bit more sophisticated.
Okay.
What trauma movies are usually.
Yes. So I had never seen this before. I'd never seen any trauma movies before, did not know what to expect, went in blind, was quite surprised by what I found. So Octavio, when did this movie enter your life? When did you first see it, and what impact did it have on you?
Well, the first time I saw the movie maybe was when I was maybe 8 and 9 years old, all right?
Oh, wow.
Yes, a local TV channel here in Spain, in Alicante, to be clear, aired the movie El Monstruo del Armario, Monster in the Closet. El Monstruo del Armario is the name of the movie here in Spain. Uh-huh. And the first time, it was terrifying for me. It was a total horror movie for my child's mind. I didn't detect any humor of the movie, anything like this.
Oh, wow.
Really? Wow.
Yes. The face of the monster was so visceral, so strong. I was terrified. I watched the movie again, and I began to discover this not so subtle humor of the movie. But when I was a child, I was not aware of that. But I detected the humor of the movie, and I began to understand it. Well, this is a fantastic movie. There are a lot of lovely characters, a lot of homage to the science fiction movies. It's a great movie, all right? And later I began to write books and articles for magazines. I decided to research the history of the movie But as you say, there are nothing about the movie. I managed to contact Bob Dylan, the director, I did an interview with him, and I did first an article of the movie for the magazine Sci-fi World. And I enjoyed it so much, diving in the history of the movie. And maybe 2 years later, I decided why not to do a book about it, because it's a long story behind the monster in the closet. And I did it. This is my history with the monster in the closet movie.
Yeah. The thing that I think struck me, which obviously was lost on you as an 8 or 9-year-old, was the humor. So watching this, I suddenly felt as though I was watching a Abraham Zucker style comedy movie like Airplane or Top Secret that I had never seen before.
Yes, it felt like I was watching, because I grew up in the 90s and 2000s, so it felt like a scary movie. Like spoof,
right?
Like a horror spoof, but it's not directly ripping off one particular movie. There's lots of references to horror movies, but it is essentially a original story, right?
Yeah, but quite a loving pastiche of, I think it's films of the 1950s, isn't it, that it's mostly riffing on? What was the director's intent?
Yes, in fact, it was a love letter to the 50s science fiction movies. We find a lot of reference. It came from Beneath the Sea, I think is the name of the movie, the original title of the movie. Also, War of the Worlds. We have the ending of the church, the priest, everything about the 50 science fiction movies. If you remember the Diane Bennett, the professor or the doctor from the movie, the description of her intentions: A, we are going to make this. B, we are going to make that. The same order that the girl from It Came from Beneath the Sea did at the movie.
Oh, yes. Okay.
And also, there are a strong link with the Spielberg, all right? The Close Encounters in the Third Kind. The professor, the character played by Henry Gibson, ting tung ting is a direct homage parody with the Spielberg movie.
Yes, I noticed that.
And
as
also
well.
an homage to Alfred Hitchcock. The scene of with the shower is the more clear reference.
Yeah, there are so many references that I felt as though I was probably missing half of them as I went through. I definitely caught Psycho as it happened, because the movie seems to change during that scene into a different style of direction even, which I enjoyed. Yeah, it does feel as though it is the thing, the other thing that is hidden in the closet that threatens the white picket fenced nuclear families of suburban America, very much rooted in those sorts of monster movies. But at the same time, it's gently making fun of all of the characters that you see in those movies, because we have the handsome guy that just doesn't realize how handsome he actually is, which is quite a fun recurring gag in the movie. You've got the scientific lady. Usually the ladies in these movies would always be the scientist's assistant, but at least I guess she is paired up with Henry Gibson's character, so you do have that dynamic again. But she is a scientist in her own right, and she also has the son, who is a child genius who is making gadgets that could very well be MacGuffins that could take down the monster, which of course is Paul Walker,
the professor
in a very early role. But you also have these representatives of different authority figures. So you have a guy from the church, you have a scientist in Henry Gibson's character, and you have the military guy played wonderfully by Donald Moffat, all of whom have different theories of how to deal with the monster. You know, should we be playing the xylophone at it and trying to communicate with it? Should we be trying to blow it up? Or should we be showing it empathy and trying to bring it into our community? All these different views. And I think that's very much a play on the tropes that we see in 50s monster movies.
Yeah, I didn't actually pick that. It's really interesting that there's a lot of references to sci-fi from the 50s. Because, the idea of communicating with the alien feels very much like the day the Earth stood still. They try to communicate with the alien and that.
The whole business with the professor being desperate. What is his name? Pennyworth.
Dr. Pennyworth.
Because the general keeps coming up with different versions of it.
Penny finger.
Yeah, penny feather. Yeah, it's just ludicrous. The whole thing with him with this xylophone, which must be a reference to the kid with the xylophone in Close Encounters.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Him trying to communicate with the alien with this xylophone, and that beautiful scene of Euphoria where you think that they're communicating because every time he does it, the tongue monster comes out.
The monster does
The thing comes out.
That's awful.
It really is.
It doesn't resemble the melody, honestly, at all. Like, I'm surprised they actually got notes out of that.
It's ridiculous. And then, of course, it just kills him anyway.
Yeah.
So the whole thing just feels like such a piss. It is. It's a piss take of Close Encounters. It absolutely is, isn't it? But yeah, just the shot of him like stalking through alleyways playing this xylophone.
I know.
Whilst Richard's there with his notepad because he's a reporter.
Yes.
Oh, and the Reverend holding his cross up. And
It's gross.
it's just, oh dear, this is delicious. I didn't know this existed at all.
I did notice, like, are there references to Superman as well? Like the Clark character felt very, I mean, his name's Clark. He's a reporter for the Daily Globe instead of the Daily Planet. And it feels very Superman-esque.
It does, yes. What was the intent? Because, of course, the director is the co-writer of the movie as well. So tell us a little bit about his intentions with the main character.
Well, as I told you, is he wanted to do an homage to his favorite movies, his favorite icons, but playing with the expectations for what is going to happen in these movies, as you perfectly described it, is the thing I most love of the movie. When the character of the reporter are with the girl professor, with Diane Bennett, the girl, talking about their feelings on the floor, seems that we are seeing a love scene, all right? And suddenly the monster breaks the door and the hand appears and was astounding for me. This breaks the usual running of the scene and suddenly the monster appears and everything is chaos, no? I think it is the most important direction Bob Darling wanted to follow with the film.
Yeah. I mean, that scene was a legitimate jump scare for me. Like, I wasn't expecting it. I got a huge fright. I imagine as a child, you would have been terrified in that scene.
Yeah. The whole device with Richard's glasses being knocked off, or him taking his glasses off to clean them, and Diana being completely entranced by just how handsome he is. That took me completely by surprise. I couldn't believe how the movie really devoted itself to that trope with, a sound effect on the soundtrack and the camera pushing in as she tilts her head to the side. I was in hysterics every time it happened. So this is more than just, oh, you can't tell it's Superman when he's got his glasses on. It's this guy's beauty is completely invisible unless he takes his glasses off.
Yeah, but then it works on the monster. That's the pivotal moment. And the monster's entranced.
It's fantastic.
I was trying to figure out what was happening because it didn't seem to affect other people. It was just Diane and the monster and no one else. I thought it was females, but there are no other women entranced by Clark. It's just Diane and the monster.
Doing a little bit of research, I don't remember the exact name of the movie, but maybe you know the series, the show Ugly Betty. Do you know the series?
Yeah, I do know it.
That show is from a girl that seems ugly, that is not so ugly, with glasses. And when at the end of the show she took the glasses, she's the more beautiful girl in town. That series, that show began in a movie maybe 40 years, all right?
Oh,
and
wow.
That kind of playing with the glasses comes from that movie. I don't remember the name of the movie, all right?
Oh, okay,
but
yeah.
it's a nod also to that movie.
Right.
Right.
Okay. The fact that the monster is also completely entranced by Clark and then ends up carrying him like a bride across the threshold for the climax of the movie that, again, I did not see coming, which is silly of me because the movie is called Monster in the Closet. The tagline is, it's out, it's out. And And obviously, there is a very strong undercurrent of dealing with closeted homosexuality, perhaps, or at least things that wouldn't normally be accepted within the American conservative nuclear family. Bursting out of the closet and threatening everyone was just a delight. How much was the film deliberately engaging with LGBTQ themes?
Yes, I asked Bob Dylan precisely that question because some of my friends and movie lovers didn't recognize the homosexual element. I asked Bob Dylan about this, and he confirmed that from the beginning of the title, Monster in the Closet, he wanted to make a reference, a subtle reference, that the monster, we understand that is homosexual. That is a playing game from the very beginning of the title. So it is intended, the intention of Bob Dylan dealing with the homosexual aspect of the monster. I don't know. I did a little bit of research. I didn't find no more examples of homosexual monsters prior to Monster of the Closet. I don't know if you know other examples, but I think it's maybe the first one or one of the first movies with an homosexual monster.
Right. Yeah, it's a very good point, actually. I can't think of any.
No.
I wasn't sure what the film was trying to say with that, so I don't know if it was sending up the way in which 50s movies presented otherness as a threat to the American family, and that actually if you destroy closets and just let your freak flag fly, but then when they destroy the closets, the monster dies. But is the monster like a negative representation of otherness, and actually you just embrace the otherness rather than it being this horrible thing, frightening thing?
Yeah.
Maybe that is the message. It's like, destroy the closet because it's fine.
Yeah.
There's nothing scary.
Maybe?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Like queerness isn't a monster after all?
Yeah.
That's
what it is. We can embrace the monster. And then it ends up just being Richard's beauty that killed the beast, which is a wonderful callback to King Kong, I think is the quote.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, 'twas beauty killed the beast. One thing that I do love about the movie a great deal is the humour.
Yes.
As you say, Dan, it's not quite the scary movie, silly parody humour. It's quite sophisticated humour. It's sort of gently poking fun at the genre. The thing that ticked me off initially is when the little girl is being dragged into the closet in the beginning, the sort of montage of 3 different victims of the monster before the title of the movie comes up. It starts off by coming up with these titles across the screen. You know, this is where this is what time it is. And even after she's attacked and she's being dragged across the floor, another title comes up to say that it's sort of 3:15-ish, you know. And at that point, I just roared because I thought, okay, this movie is going to be gently silly, just pointing out how absurd some of the tropes of these movies are, the mechanisms of these movies are. So I enjoyed the humor a lot.
Yeah, I mean, right off the bat, the first voiceover on the movie, I have to say this whole quote, but it goes like this: the most mysterious, unexplainable, and inexplicable events often take place in the most ordinary places like the small quiet town of Chestnut Hills. Usually these seemingly explainable occurrences are eventually explained, but every so often they remain mysteriously inexplicable. Sometimes it is best to accept the unexplainable rather than search in vain for inexplicable explanations, for some things are simply unexplainable. This movie you're about to see is one of them. And yes, it pretty much sums it up, because there's a lot of things that happen in this movie that they're just funny and they have no reason. Like Clark is always eating a Crunch bar throughout the entire movie. He's always got a chocolate bar in his hand, and there's no explanation for it. The chief of police is always spitting, chewing tobacco in vessels everywhere, and it's just this constant gag where he's just always spitting, and it's very Naked Gun for me, but not as silly as Naked Gun. It's like almost there, but not quite.
It is,
something like respectful humor about these movies. He's making fun of the movies, but at the same time, they love that movies. So it's that kind of relation. And also for me about the humor is how the movie delivers to make every character lovable. For me, at least. I love every character of the movie. Are fantastic, everything, every one of them. in their exaggerated personalities. Are fantastic. The priest, the police officer, the military. The military is fantastic with the energy, making apart the professor. No, we are going to destroy the monster. And later, when the chaos reigns of the city, he is a coward. He's running from the operation. It's fantastic. Every character of the movie.
That's very true. Yes, all the characters are quite lovable.
Yeah, they are. There's nobody that you hate. Nobody as a moustache-twirling villain. I suppose the closest is Frank Ashmore, who plays Scoop Johnson.
Oh, yes. The rival, yes.
But also it's fantastic.
Yeah.
He's the most hateable character. In fact, Frank Ashmore told me he was contracted for the movie because the role at Airplane.
Oh, from
Right,
Airplane.
yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
right.
yes.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I mostly remember him from the miniseries V, where he was one of the secret aliens.
That's right.
I think he was one of the goodies in that, though, wasn't he?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. No, he's wonderfully villainous and sleazy in this, and calling Diana bitch after she refuses to let him interview the professor. But at the same time, he's so obvious in the way that he manipulates Richard. You know, he sends him off on this fool's errand to investigate all of these murders because Richard is the joke of the office. He's a nepo baby, is the phrase. His uncle owns the paper. He's only there because of his family. And so they send him off to make fun of him, but then he actually stumbles across something that's really important. So then he swoops in to try and steal it from him and then tells him that there's a much better job somewhere else, you know. But he's so obvious, it's kind of pathetic. So you don't really hate him. You just sort of laugh at him.
Yeah, and he does get his just desserts as well. He gets punched in the face, which is, you know, you got to have that.
You do, yeah. It's nice to see him get his comeuppance at the end of the movie.
I read this movie was filmed in 1983, but then it didn't get released until far later, 1986. What was the reason for this?
Well, the reason Bob Dylan wanted to write and film a movie about this, about his love passion of the science fiction movies. And he was working with Robert Altman. In fact, he was doing Popeye, I think is the Popeye the Sailor.
Wow, yeah.
In Malta, when he decided to write Monster in the Closet. And he convinced David Levy, the producer, and Peter Berquist to make an association and get money from some people to do the movie.
Yeah.
It was an investment, but some people put money on the movie with no guarantees. They promised that when the movie will come about, they will obtain again the money, all right? They began the movie, filming the movie in 83, but about a year later, the money ended. They need to obtain more money. They continued filming the movie, and again the movie disappeared. Right? No. The movie was almost filmed. Everything, all the scenes were filmed. And they, in fact, did a first edit of the movie done by Raja Gosnell, the editor, I know. And they began to search for some people to distribute the movie. And at that point, they contacted Troma. In fact, Monster in the Closet is a movie distributed by Troma, but not a Troma movie.
Right, okay.
Yes, it's not like a Toxic Avenger. It's another kind of movie, totally different. All right. Toxic Avenger, the humor is more violent. The nudity of the movie is another thing. Monster in the Closet has the label of Troma, but it's not a Troma movie. All right.
Right. Okay.
And Troma agreed to buy the movie, to make a deal. They did a deal with the producers and promised them an orchestral score and a big distribution of the movie in the world. But Troma didn't follow this promise, all right? They didn't do an orchestral score.
No, they didn't.
And the worst thing is that first edit of the movie, they changed everything to make more humor like the Troma movies.
Right.
And when David Levy and the rest of the team discovered this, was a little bit angry about this, obviously. And David Levy went to the Troma office and he stayed at the Troma building, arranging from zero the movie again, doing another edit of the movie as the script. But he was very critical of this behavior of Troma, right? And he was fired as Troma, David Levy. And then began a little bit strange situation between Truma and the producers by this fight.
Right.
But they finally premiered the movie first at Cannes. Monster in the Closet was at Cannes
Wow.
in 86, I think. And finally, they premiered the movie in 87,
Right.
4 years later after the filming.
Wow.
So how close to the director's vision is the finished product now? Did they get it back to the script, back to the edit that they wanted, or is it still a bit of a trauma hybrid?
No. They returned to the original idea, the original structure,
right.
That's good.
and almost everything was filmed is in the movie. There are only, I think, 2 scenes that were discarded by them, by the original producers of the movie. The original extended first sequence. Do you remember in the movie when the little girl is playing hide and seek?
Is that's Fergie? Is
Yes,
that Fergie?
that's it. But the movie began with 3 or 4 children running from the school, all right? The script described a lot of complicated camera movements following the kids across the neighborhood, all right? The boys arrived to the house of one of them, and was that little girl in the house, was the sister of one of the boys. The boys wanted to play baseball, but they didn't want the little girl with them. And they fooled her to, we are going to play hide and seek. And the girl began to go, and they escaped to play baseball. And that began the scene of the movie.
Right.
And another extended sequence is when the girl, also at the beginning of the movie, that blonde is screaming to the closet. And later the camera movement follows her to the closet. And later we see the Tom Selleck poster. We don't know why. It's the Tom Selleck poster. I asked him, Bob Dylan, he didn't know why Tom Selleck is in the poster of the closet. But that sequence began with this girl, the blonde, arrived to the university, in the fraternity, all right? There are other girls in the stairs, and she was smiling. She stole the boyfriend from one of the other girls. He was very arrogant. And she arrived to his room, closed the door, and began that sequence we see of the movie. And Scotland, man with the
bagpipes, yeah.
That's it. Is also in the montage. There are pictures of that, and the montage of the destroying of the closet. All right.
Oh, really?
Breaking the closet. And another thing that there is in the script, but not in the movie, is there are more than one monsters at the end of the movie.
Really?
Yes. There are a lot of monsters began to appear from the closet. And when they discover the way to stop the monster, that is destroy the closet, there's another news report from all the world. All the monsters are dying. So there are more monsters in the first script of the movie.
Right.
That makes a lot more sense because in the movie there's this kind of mass hysteria for one monster taking over the world.
With the scenes from Reptilicus, if you remember well, that or people running from the street is from the movie Reptilicus.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. It would make a lot more sense if there were lots of monsters emerging from closets, and that's the escalation. And then, of course, the reference to them, they're all dying, that probably felt like War of the Worlds, where they all die as a result of catching of bacteria or whatever it is. Yeah. That makes a lot more sense.
It does. How did they afford some of these scenes?
Yeah.
You've got the scene with the army, and it's a literal army.
Tanks and everything.
There's tanks. There's rocket launchers. There's machine guns. Like, how did they afford that?
I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine that it was done in partnership with the military, because this is not like Top Gun. This is not a recruitment ad for the military.
No, it doesn't paint the military in a good light.
No.
Like, they are the useless military that wants to go in guns blazing.
Yeah.
And that's not the way, apparently.
No, it didn't work.
Now it's time for Random Trivia.
So, Octavio, what fabulous piece of trivia did you unearth about the monster in the closet today?
The most interesting anecdote, maybe, is a fun trivia, is that you already know about the playing joke with Superman and Clark Kent, all right?
Oh, yes.
But Don Grant, the actor of the movie, of the character of Richard Grant, wanted to make also a joke, and he prepared a Superman T-shirt of all right?
Oh, okay.
He put inside the shirt in the evacuation scene, almost at the end of the movie, all right? When all the militaries and he began to film the movie. At some point, Don Grant jumped among a car. And he broke the shirt. I'm Superman. I'm flying to the rescue. And he began to run across the street. Bob Dylan, what happened? Don Grant running down the street. It's a funny thing. But the more funny thing is a little look to my book is that my friend Jonathan Bellès did some drownings of the movie, all right? Some kind of homage to big moments of the movie.
Okay.
And I asked my friend to do a drowning with Richard breaking the shirt and in opposite to the Superman logo, the monster face of in the scene. All right. At that moment I didn't know about the Superman joke of Don Grant. All right, but I sent the drowning to Don Grant, and he told me, "Oh, I remember one thing." And he told me about this history. But he began to research at his home, and he found a lot of pics of this moment. And he sent me for the book, and we see all the sequence. He jumping from at the car, breaking the seat. Was some kind of circle of the anecdote of the Superman.
Oh, right. Ah,
Yeah.
amazing.
So you reminded him. That's amazing. It's good that there were photos of it.
Yes, the book is incredible because at the internet you can find any pic behind the scene of the movie. But at the book we achieved, I don't know, maybe 200 pics of behind the scene of the movie.
Wow.
Yes.
And that's our trivia.
Yes. We should probably talk about the monster. So it's quite an interesting design. I did not expect it to look like that. And you see a lot of it. It's not in darkness. It's not like in shadow or covered by anything. It's very visible and in broad daylight in a lot of the scenes as well.
Yeah.
How did they come up with that design?
Well, in fact, they consulted, I think it was William Stout, the designer. And William Stout did a lot of sketches, concept art. You can see the concept art is still in the website of William Stout. And he arrived soon to the scene of the monster. It's a mix between the Rancor and Alien. I don't know why it always seems angry, the monster, no? The roar of the monster seems angry. I love that. And if you look, always is with the hand like this. I don't know why.
Yes, the right arm. Yeah.
Yes. I don't know why. But William Stout did a design of the monster. Later was molded and built by Doug Beswick, Kevin Brennan, Mark Brian Wilson, who also worked later in Slimer from Ghostbusters, Margaret Prentice and Bill Sturgeon, among others.
Yeah. And of course, inside the costume, Kevin Peter Hall.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Predator himself, or Bigfoot and the Hendersons.
I know that Kevin Peter Hall had a lot of heat inside the costume.
Imagine.
They filmed it at summer. There are a lot of pics in the book with people with the dryers, cold dryers.
Oh my God.
Because he was sweating a lot.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Because, I mean, there's quite a lot going on. Like, the teeth are moving. All the teeth are moving back and forwards. I'm assuming one of his right arm is controlling all the other animatronics, and that's why it's always down, his right arm. But then it does move up. But I don't know.
Maybe it's for that. I don't know.
And of course, he has the tongue that comes out the alien has a tongue that has another mouth or another set of teeth on it. This one just has a whole other head on the front of it, which I was not expecting.
And it breaks through a lot of doors as well. There's a lot of breaking through door scenes. I think there are 3. I'm guessing very cardboardy doors that he's breaking through.
Yeah, breakaway doors. I mean, I'm surprised that you were surprised by the scene where he bursts through the door, the jump scare, because as soon as 2 characters sit down up against a door whilst they're waiting for a monster to appear, in the back of my head, I'm always thinking, the monster's going to break through the door.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think ever since Evil Dead, I've always been watching doors carefully.
Right. Yes.
So, music, Dan, we always talk about music.
Yes.
Barry Gard.
Who is Barry Gard?
I do not know.
Yeah, Barry Gard. So Octavio mentioned they were promised an orchestral score.
Yes.
This is not an orchestral score. It's obviously some very cheap synth or synclavier imitating instruments. It's fine. It works for the movie because it's kind of silly.
Yeah.
But it sounds cheap.
It does sound cheap. I did notice that Barry Gard does take the theme that they're playing on the xylophone and he incorporates it into the score. Yeah, so that's quite nice. So
Does he? Oh, okay, I didn't notice that.
some sort of attempts at sophistication there, but yeah, it does just sound like a cheap synthesizer score in the end. But it kind of suits the aesthetic of the movie in a way.
It does. I think there are references to other horror movies. There's one cue that does sound quite Jaws-esque.
Right, okay.
Like, do. Yeah, it does kind of suit the aesthetic of the movie. It's not going for too grand and over the top. It's a silly comedy.
Yeah, it is.
There's a lot of humor in this movie that makes no sense.
Right.
Often scenes where I just thought to myself, what is happening? Like at the start with the blind man and he's trying to find his guard dog.
Yeah.
And he's like, here, doggy. And he just swings his cane around and smashes everything in the room. It's like, what are you doing, Mr. Blind Man?
Yes.
Do you want to abuse your dog?
Yeah.
Is that what's happening?
He's not being gentle, is he? It's John Carradine in a ridiculous cameo. How did they get so many? Because that's another thing that it inherits from Airplane, that you have so many of these veteran character actors, people like John Carradine, Stella Stevens, Donald Moffat, Henry Gibson. You've got all of these amazing character actors just doing these bit parts that are quite silly, and they all seem to be on board with it. How did he cast so many great actors?
Well, the main thing was about the Robert Altman circle.
Right.
A lot of these actors and actresses worked with Robert Altman, and they knew David Levy and Bob Dylan from this circle. And they invited them to work, maybe in some cases free.
Wow.
This is the reason we have so incredible actors at the movie.
I didn't realize the Robert Altman connection at all. But it's wonderful because it's just like Airplane. You've got all of these really great actors that you're used to seeing in so many sort of really big movies from the 50s and 60s. And here they are being really, really silly.
Yes.
Just like in Airplane. So it's a joy to watch. Yeah. But most of this comedy is just gently silly. And also there are tropes that are undermined in the movie. Like you have the boy genius, Paul Walker.
The professor.
The professor, who is making this gizmo from the very beginning of the movie, the ultrasonic energy augmenter. And you just think, well, this is Chekhov's ultrasonic energy augmenter. You're thinking, okay, he's going to kill the monster with us at the end of the movie.
It's going to work, yes.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It doesn't work, no. What did it actually do? So it took sound and augmented it to be some sort of ray.
Yeah, it turned into a laser.
It was odd. And in that scene as well, you have the professor instructing Clark to play the horn. And he plays this horn. It looks like a bugle, but it sounds like a kazoo. It sounds ridiculous. Like the whole scene, you've got Clark going on this like kazoo sounding instrument, and it's shooting lasers at the monster that don't seem to be doing anything at all. And then the weapon just self-destructs. It just like fizzes out and just falls apart.
Yeah.
Like what was this weapon? Well, like, I mean, I guess a MacGuffin, just you're not supposed to know. It was supposed to work and it just didn't.
Again, subverting expectations.
And you also have that scene, that huge montage scene with Diane and Clark building this electric trap that they're going to electrocute the monster because they figure out that something to do with electricity is going to take him down.
Yeah.
And it's this massive scene, and then there's this heartfelt like dialogue between them about like, what was your plan C? It's like, oh, to get with you. And then they have this heartfelt moment, and then the monster comes, and then they lure it to the trap with his crunch bar. And then it doesn't work. It's like, what's the point of that whole montage? And it's just, a lot of subversion of expectations.
A lot of subversion of expectations. Yeah, that feels like that is a reference to The Thing, the original version of The Thing, the Howard Hawks movie, which is fun because then you've got Donald Moffat as the general in this movie, who was in John Carpenter's remake of The Thing in 82. And he's being ridiculously silly in this, which is great fun. But yeah, there's all these little references like that. And I think, that is The Thing gets electrocuted in that way, in a trap. But in this one, he walks too far to the left and misses it.
I know. Yeah.
Coming to you live from the Movie Oubliette Theatre, it's the prestigious Mobley Awards.
All right, it's just me and Conrad for the Mobley Awards, where we nominate our favourite flying clothes parts of the film in a number of ding-dong closet-destroying categories.
Best quote.
My favourite quote comes from the wonderful Donald Moffat and his incredible eyebrows as General Turnbull, and he shouts at one point after, I think, the alleyway escapades with the xylophone, "Who the hell do you think you are, the goddamn junior G-man? Shit."
He is great. He did remind me of the general from Chud 2, actually. This ridiculously over-the-top character that really steals every scene he's in.
Yeah, the guy that's got absolutely no time for these scientists preaching understanding and don't kill the creature. He just wants to kill the creature as fast as possible and get these silly scientists out of the way.
Yeah. My favorite quote actually is from Dr. Pennyworth to Clark after witnessing the unstoppable force of the monster. And he says, "You wanted a story, Mr. Clark? Well, you just might have the biggest story the world has ever known. I only pray there's someone left to read about it." Yeah.
It's good, yeah.
Best hair or costume.
Surely the most consequential piece of wardrobe in this film, if not cinema history, is Richard Clarke's glasses. The thick, black-rimmed, enormous 80s glasses that somehow completely obscure not his secret identity, but his devastating hypnotic beauty.
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
I love that.
It's a cinematic trope, right? Like what Octavio mentioned. Like, you're ugly with glasses, but just stunning without them.
But I mean, it's so colossally hypnotic that it stops people in their tracks. Their heads tilts to the side and they're just locked in, entranced by your beauty, like spilling tea all over the tray. Yeah.
Most 80s moment.
This is not specifically an 80s thing, but I have noticed that so many big stars had their big break or their first movie in the 80s in horror. And it's amazing. I wrote a list, and in this movie, Paul Walker and Fergie having their first roles in a feature in this movie. But in the 80s, you've got Johnny Depp in A Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984. Kevin Bacon, Friday the 13th, 1980. Technically his fourth film, but I feel like his first actual character. Jason Alexander and Holly Hunter in The Burning in 1981. Jennifer Connelly in Phenomena, 1985. Bill Paxton in Mortuary, 1982. Patricia Arquette in Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, 1987. Tom Hanks in He Knows You're Alone, 1980. Julia Louis-Dreyfus in Troll that you did with with Melinda, 1986.
Yes.
Stephen Dorff in The Gate, 1987. Sam Rockwell in Clown House, 1989. And Drew Barrymore in a blink or you'll miss it in Altered States in 1980.
Yes.
So just so many big stars had their first break in horror in the 80s. It's incredible.
Favorite scene?
Ooh, will you pick my favorite scene, Conrad?
Is it the shower scene?
It is.
I knew it. Yeah, there's just this wonderful, as I said, there's a transition into this Hitchcockian prowling camera that crawls up the wall as the text comes up on the screen, the building next door, and just seamlessly glides through the window for this Stella Stevens topless shower scene where she perfectly recreates the shower scene from Psycho, and you get the three times the charm, and then it's a fake out.
Yeah,
and it's her husband every single time. Even the third time when the shadow is much bigger and you think, well, this is definitely the monster this time.
Yeah.
No, it's still her husband. It's just that he's got his coat all rucked up because he's looking for his car keys. I was in hysterics. I couldn't believe it.
It's amazing that they do it 3 times. And also when she says, oh, it's in my closet. And he goes to the closet and you think, oh, this is it. And he goes into the closet and then he walks out of the closet and nothing happens.
Nothing happens, yeah.
Most cliche moment.
There are so many cliches. We've mentioned some of them.
Yeah.
So Diane gets a cat scare.
Yes.
We have a shower scene, as we've discussed, as our favourite scene. It is subverted. The woman does not die. It's her husband outside who gets it.
True.
I mean, it's all cliches. That's the point. Some of my favourite ones that haven't been mentioned as much, maybe scientist dies before revealing the one thing he believes will destroy the monster.
Right, yes.
They're just missing the one last word. Yet the secret is
destroy. Yeah. And then that's it. Yeah. I mean, this movie completely rides on cliches. Like, that's why it works. Like, it's riffing off and spoofing cliches from sci-fi and horror movies. So it kind of needs them. Like, they're not done in a cheesy way. They're done as a reference.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's the whole point of the movie. So if we were pointing out the cliches, we'd be doing it a disservice.
Yeah, I mean, every scene has a cliche. The military's a cliche. The sort of absent-minded professor, where he tries to pull out a magnifying glass, but it's a spoon. He keeps telling the story of frogs and dissecting it and the goo that comes out. It's like, oh, don't tell the story at dinner time. What are you doing?
When we're trying to have our cucumber pudding.
Cucumber pudding, yeah.
Best special effect.
My favourite special effect is just a little moment. It's after the shower scene, which we really enjoyed. The moment when Roy, the husband, is finally pulled into the closet. It's just a lovely little visual. I think it's just undercranked. I think they've just sped the film up. But the claw just gets in his collar and he looks up as if he realises he's been got.
Yeah.
And then it's just, whoop, he just flies off the screen. It's beautifully done.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, all of those scenes with the monster taking the victim into the closet and then clothes flying out from behind the closet door. Like, it's funny, but I mean, it's done really well. Like, the closet must be enormous. And you must have, like, at least 1 or 2 technicians just throwing clothes out and then all the other actors like hiding behind or something. And because it's all done in one shot, all those scenes, all in one shot. Like, it's done really well.
It is, yeah.
Favorite sound effect?
For me, it's the sheriff, Sam Ketchum, constantly spitting in vessels. So
it's mine
chewing tobacco and just anything that's around him, he spits into. And the sound of the spit is it's amazing. And there's one scene where they're outside, and it looks like he just spits into at a cyclist, or I can't even see the vessel he's spitting into, but there's just a cyclist behind him, and he just turns around and spits, and there's just this lovely kind of sound of it hitting metal, something resonant, and it's it's disgusting and hilarious at the same time.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And what I love is that it's a nice comical wavering note as well. It's not like just a ting, it's ting, you know.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
But the sound changes as well. It's not the same sound effect. So when they're in the apartment and he spits into a cup or a jug or something, there's liquid in the cup already. So there's like a drip sound when he spits into it. It's disgusting.
Most funniest moment.
Oh, it's hard, isn't it? What's yours?
It's the destroy all closet scene. I mean, it is over the top. So you have Diane on a, I guess, emergency broadcast saying, we must destroy all closets. And then the next scene, you have families with like gardening tools and axes just smashing away their closets, still with their clothes inside as well. You've got a scene with the rich couple they take the door off the hinges, and then the wife just proceeds to like use a handsaw to just saw her closet in half. Like, what?
Yeah, there's the really rich lady that's got a walk-in closet, and she just goes in there and starts torching her clothes.
Blow-torching her clothes.
Why? For me, it has to be the moment that the monster is hypnotized by Richard Clarke's devastating beauty.
Okay.
It was ridiculous. It's a movie called Monster in the Closet. It clearly has a homosexual subtext to it, and I did not see it coming. I did not expect the monster to be gay for Richard Clarke. But I was roaring with laughter. I did not expect it, with its little head tilt and the music swelling. Oh, marvellous. And that's our movies.
Yes.
Hey, this is Don Mancini, the creator of Chucky, and you are listening to Movie Oubliette.
Right, it's time for final verdicts. Should Monster in the Closet be let out of the oubliette to abduct Clark and run off into the sunset, adored once more? Or should all closets be destroyed, thus the monster retreating to the darkest, deepest closet of them all, the oubliette, to eat cucumber pudding forever? Octavio, our guest for today, the resident expert of this movie. Should people watch it? Would you recommend this movie?
Well, it's a very sympathetic movie. Sympathetic is the word, maybe. A very sympathetic movie with a lovely characters, with an incredible humor, and a lot of reference to the science fiction movies. For me, for a fan of the science fiction, from the fantasy films, I think that is a must-see movie for everyone who likes these kind of movies. Mm-hmm. And a little surprise for who didn't know about the movie.
How about you, Conrad? What's your final verdict for this film?
Well, I think it's probably fairly clear from how excited I've been talking about the movie that I agree with Octavio. I did not know what to expect going into this at all. It's a trauma movie. I haven't seen one. I just know them as like cheap straight-to-video exploitation movies, which is probably unfair of me. And then this thing starts up. The picture quality was terrible on Amazon Prime. It's better on YouTube. Look out for YouTube, everyone. And as soon as the titles started coming up over the first murder sequence, which was clearly ridiculous, I thought, wow, this is a parody, but it's like a subtle parody. It's like a gentle, loving parody with this amazing cast of old veteran character actors plus two very funny leads, and of course, Fergie and Paul Walker.
Yes.
It's got so many references to genre films that we love, and even the parodies are loving and affectionate rather than silly and cheap like the scary movies got in the end. And the special effects are sort of like weirdly good but then hysterically badly shot, and I don't know. It just felt as though I'd stumbled upon like an airplane movie style comedy that I had never known existed. And I had an absolute blast with it. I haven't laughed this much in a very long time watching a movie on Movie Oubliette. So
Yes. Yeah.
I would recommend it for sure.
It's a genre we don't cover very much. It's a comedy horror, and it's very much a comedy. Don't go into this thinking, oh, it's a horror with comedy aspects. It's comedy first and foremost. It is hilarious. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of 80s comedy. Normally, it's usually very slapstick and very silly, which this is. But yeah, all the references, just constant nods to sci-fi and horror movies. A lot of movies I didn't even know about. And maybe I should seek out those movies so I can actually get the jokes in this movie. Yeah, surprising. It's a very surprising film. It doesn't get to the point where you're groaning at the humor. It is funny. It is very funny. And it's also Patron's Choice, Serge. Like, thank you so much for introducing this to us.
Yeah, because we've never heard of it.
Yeah, I would highly recommend it.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Well, that's a vote of confidence from all three of us here, but we better check in with our patrons. Hello, Gary.
I am listening, regrettably.
Patrons vote, please.
Certainly. Initiating patio's goat, adjusting outdoor lighting.
No patrons vote.
Oh, this again.
They set it free. Of course they did.
Had anyone seen this movie before?
Well, surprisingly, yes. So Jasmine said, I haven't seen this movie in over 35 years.
Ooh.
And it's just as enjoyable as I remember it being. One of the best films made by Troma, though I know that is a bar set very low. Great creature effects, a witty script, and a fine cast of familiar faces. Henry Gibson stole every scene he was in.
Right.
His death scene would have me tearing up had he not been cracking me up as he perished instead. Wicked Person said it's worth setting free for the tobacco-spitting sheriff alone. Luke R. said, set it free, I tell you. I've always wanted to see mild-mannered Clark Kent bridle carried for 20 minutes while a rubber-suited beast man with a raw track on a loop tries to find a closet that isn't in a shambles. Oh, it's so true. And Nick Hardy says, this was all kinds of amazing. Can't believe I haven't seen or heard of it before. I don't think I stopped laughing all the way through. The shower scene with the triple bluff joke with the husband was so ridiculous. It was brilliant. It has to be set free, and I'll be rewatching with friends and beers very soon. Thanks, Serge, for nominating.
Yes. Oh, definitely underscore gem, this one.
And everyone enjoyed it. So well done, Serge. You've given us a gem. So let me just open that closet and let this freak flag fly.
Yeah.
Off you go.
I'm off to find Richard. Bye.
Another one set free.
Oh.
Well, Octavio, it's been amazing having you on the podcast to help us discover and understand this movie. Where can people find your book and find out more about your work studying fantastical films?
Thank you for the chance to do this. Well, you can find Monster in the Closet book in Amazon. The title in Spanish is El monstruo que salió, that exit from the closet. But Amazon,
okay.
you can find it. If you put also my name, Octavio López Sanjuán, in Amazon, you can already also find that book and my other books.
That's brilliant.
Great.
Highly recommended for our Spanish listeners.
Yes.
I think personally that probably this book, the Monster in the Closet, is my favorite.
Really?
Yes. It was an incredible experience. Apart from the research value, that was fantastic, discovered everything about the movie. I remember the most incredible thing was contacting the UCLA, the university, and they found that Howard Duff, the actor of the priest, He lived, when he died, a lot of things from his career. And there are a few things about the monster in the closet. And one of them was the script, and was essential for the research of the movie, because any other member of the movie keep the script. And was some kind of treasure. And the UCLA sent me the script, and it was fantastic. The experience, meeting Bob Dylan, Don Grant, David Levy was fantastic, and reconstructing the history of the movie was a total blast. And everybody that reads the book, later he tells me, is the most passionate work you did.
I think it's commendable to do such a love letter to a movie that often there are books written about very, very popular cult movies that lots of people have written about. But this one, it feels like you've really gone for a deep dive into a movie that, for a lot of people will be completely new.
Yes.
So
that was a part of the reason of doing this book, because, as you say, a lot of books are about the movies that has a lot of success. But I thought, why not doing a book about a movie that was a failure? And because still maybe needs more recognition than a success, and was part of the reason to do the book.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's what we love to do, is discover movies that people may have missed. So thanks for being with us to discover this one.
Thanks to you, and please excuse me, everybody, about my spoken English and the mistakes I did during the podcast. And thank you so much for your time and give me the chance to talk about the book Monster in the Closet.
Great.
Thank you.
And listeners, if you want to follow Movie Oubliette, you can find us everywhere on all platforms, and you can email us directly at movie.oubliette@gmail.com.
Yes, and if you want to support the show, then head on over to Patreon, where you can get a bunch of bonus episodes, extended bits, and all kinds of exclusive goodies. And you can even be an executive producer, like Serge of Cold Crash Pictures, Isaac Sutton, Dr. Doggy, Chisella, Nick Hardy, Ryan A. Potter, Iconographer, and Luke R.
And our patrons get to choose our movie every now and again, like Serge for today's episode. We have merchandise on Redbubble and a YouTube channel. And please, if you haven't already, give us a rating and review. It does make our day.
Gets the word out there.
Okay, Conrad, what's on our next episode? What's the movie?
Well, we gave our patrons a choice of either tying in with a forthcoming new series from Guy Ritchie or a Maggie Gyllenhaal movie, and they picked the 1985 gothic romance, The Bride.
Ooh. It's got Sting in it, right?
Yes. It stars the great actors Jennifer Beals, Geraldine Page, Clancy Brown, Anthony Higgins, David Rappaport, and Sting. And Sting.
Great.
It's definitely an and Sting.
Right.
Or a but Sting, maybe.
I can't remember the last movie I saw Sting in. Was he in this Dune? Yeah, Dune.
Yeah, Dune in his wonderful winged metal pants. Yeah,
right. Yes, the codpiece.
The codpiece. Yeah. So who knows? He's in ruffles in this one. So we shall see.
Okay. All right. Okay, listeners, that's it for another episode. Until next time, goodbye.
Bye.
We review the films others tend to forget. Come with us and open up the movie Oubliette.
It wasn't the closet. It was beauty killed the beast.